Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And yes, it's another starter home. I told y'all on Twitter, I am now on a kick. I think you guys had recommended that I make a couple of starter homes because you were curious as to how I would make them. And now I can't stop because it's a unique challenge that I sometimes struggle to actually meet. So I'm really excited about this starter home. It is a little colonial, and again, it is ideal for a couple of Sims. So I believe for a 2 Sim household, so 2 young adults, or elder Sims, you get around 22,000 simoleons. So that is exactly what we end up coming up with. I think we are actually a little bit under budget in this home. I think there may have been like 100 or 200 simoleons to spare. It's really not that much. And I absolutely love this home. I actually kind of want to make a larger version of it, maybe with some other little additions off to the side or the back of the house. And I kind of want to make a fully furnished, non-restricted version. I feel like that would be really fun, and maybe it's something I'll consider for a neighborhood in my save file, because I don't want to do a build like that and put both of them on the channel. I feel like it would be weird. It would be obviously a duplicate home, and I think that's odd, so I won't do that. But again, this was super fun, and I used a lot of debug menus for the landscaping because that is the only way to make this work and not look bad. Like, at least in my opinion, if the landscaping isn't there, the build just isn't like complete to me. It's not as complete, it's not as realistic. So I just wanted to make sure that I paid very careful attention to the landscaping. And though I used a lot of the same plants for this build as I did in the starter bungalow that I put on the channel a couple of days ago, it still looks a little bit different. I kind of used different arrangements, and I almost made the front kind of frame the front walkway a little bit rather than frame the house. Does that make sense? I'm also trying to get a little bit more, I guess, sporadic with the patches of landscaping that I put in builds. What I used to do when I first started building and doing landscaping was I would frame the whole house. Like, whatever house it was, whatever the structure was, whatever shape, it literally was just surrounded by plants, and I would almost go in a pattern. It's so weird how my mind works. So I would grab, let's say, hydrangea, and I would feel as though I was being totally random with it, and I would place it in the front, and then, 1, 2, 3 tiles, I'd place it again, and then I would do that again. I'd add a certain flower next to it, and it ended up being in a repetitive pattern in a specific order, and it was so odd. So I'm really trying to break that apart a little bit and add random patches of like flowers and vegetation to build. So I felt like I kind of accomplished that in the back, at least, of this home. And also, I think this is the first time that I have been totally okay with the back of a home not looking that great. Because, like, there's no back door, there's no back patio. I usually love adding back patios, but I just couldn't sacrifice the simoleons this time. And the windows aren't necessarily evenly placed, but at the same time, I really like it because it looks like a real house. I feel like I've been passing so many houses, like when I drive around, because obviously I only drive, I don't go anywhere because, social distancing and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I am driving around and I'm like seeing the back of some homes, and they look nothing like the front, obviously, and they're just like not decorated. The windows aren't even, like, nothing looks quote unquote good, but in real life it doesn't matter, right? In The Sims, I feel like it totally matters. So for me to actually sit there and be like, yeah, that looks fine, it's whatever, there's some plants and there's no door, there's no patio, there's just like this backyard, that's weird to me, and it like physically hurt me to do, but but I did it because even placing down a small patio and like adding maybe another door or something couldn't sacrifice the simoleons, because my idea for this home, for this interior, was to get higher end items. So in the last one, I used a lot of, I don't want to say cheaper as if it's bad, but I used the lower cost simoleon items that were mainly base game, to be honest. And I thought they looked really nice, and it definitely worked within the budget. But for this one, I used higher simoleon costing items. And I added a little mailbox because it looked like it was on a little street corner and I loved it. So I wanted to add some realism. I added the little light post and the mailbox out there. And now we're on the interior, and this is another 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. And like I said, more expensive items were used in this home. So I used a decent amount of Parenthood, as well as a little bit of Get Famous and a little bit of Seasons. So this one is not as decorated as the other home that I did. There's maybe 1 or 2 pieces of artwork on the walls. Not that crazy, but I do really like how it came out because it looks really nice too. And I would imagine that if you moved your Sims in here and you got them jobs, whatever they were doing, that they would be able to start buying some artwork pretty quickly. But at least they have a really nice foundation to work off of. So the kitchen is really simple. I use these Parenthood cabinets and counters, as well as kind of like second tier appliances, I suppose. Like that stove isn't the absolute cheapest, it's not run down. The fridge is really decent, so hopefully it doesn't break as often. And I also use these island living curtains, a Parenthood dining table, as well as Get Famous chairs, so it just really looks put together. I used a lot of very orange woods, I suppose, kind of like reddish orange woods. They do have a TV though, so the only thing that's not super high quality is the TV, but it's because I wanted the other appliances to be of better quality so they didn't break as often. Then again, if they break a lot, it means that your Sims handiness skills definitely going to go up if they're in a starter home and they can't afford a repairman. But yeah, I don't know. I just really like how it came out. And I used this bed from Seasons just because it looks super comfortable and it actually wasn't that expensive. I also used a kind of second tier shower there as well, so hopefully that doesn't break as often too. And even though it is kind of scarcely decorated, I was able to get some plants. They end up having a wardrobe. There are some other lamps and lights, and those saucer lights that I actually put at the beginning of every build just because they produce, I think, the best quality of light in the game that I've seen for any of the lamps, but those are 150 simoleons. So what I ended up doing is I think I swapped a few of them out at the end as well with a cheaper overhead light, so it would actually bring the cost down more. And it was really unusual because when I had my test sim in here looking at things and purchasing the property, when they bought it, it was more expensive than when I moved them out, like via eviction. I evicted them, so I didn't like move them out so they didn't sell the furniture or anything, but I don't know, the value of the lot changed, so it was really odd. But when I put it up on the gallery, everything seemed fine. It seems to be in budget, so hopefully that works for you guys. It was weird and I couldn't figure it out for a little while, probably just because I don't pay close enough attention sometimes, but I really try. But everything's pretty much coming together here. They at least have a little plant and a lamp. I was toying around with the wardrobe for a while because I had a concern that the Sims wouldn't be able to get to the left side of the bed if a wardrobe was there. But like I said, I think when we got Tiny Living, I believe there may have been some kind of tweak to what Sims could get around. So with my test sim, they were able to get to both sides of the bed and access the wardrobe no problem, which was really, really exciting to me because I wanted to make sure it worked and the room wouldn't have felt complete without a wardrobe. So I was happy with that. And they were even able to get a rug in the living room, which I didn't expect to be able to do because rugs are freaking expensive. But all in all, I do really like how this little starter came out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we're pretty much wrapping up the video in the next couple of minutes. I'm kind of just swapping out the lights like I mentioned earlier to ensure that they get a little bit more money to play with when they move in. And I also toyed around with some debug menus yet again. I tried to put some things in the kitchen, and I also added a toothbrush and a little bottle of cleaner in the bathroom because I thought maybe, oh, they just moved in and they're cleaning up the place a little bit. I don't know. I also grabbed like that pottery little teapot and I placed it on the dining room table because I don't know, it's just a small little accent to make it a little bit more lived in, a little bit more settled, even though it is pretty scarce all in all. I don't know, but again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I might do a few more starters, I might not. I might get back to my normal, really cluttered builds very soon, but let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys next time I post a video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
into your eyes, I see we're out of time. I guess no one's to blame, nobody crossed the line. I guess we couldn't see, somehow we couldn't feel. Maybe we rose too fast, maybe we got too high.